Welcome to Show Up and Glow. My name's Jalen. This is my cozy corner, a space created just for you to tune in and chill out. If this interests you, I invite you to find some headphones, a quiet space, and join me for a calming and comforting experience. If this is not for you, that is okay. I appreciate you stopping by. As you notice yourself enjoying your stay, please make sure to like and subscribe for more of this calm and cozy vibe. Now let's get started. Today we have something really special. We're gonna do a chapter. We're gonna read, and you're gonna listen. And that's what we got going on today. I'm gonna read and you're gonna listen. Out of Winnie the Pooh. Look how beautiful that is. That gold flat, oh my gosh. Love it. Look how classic this looks. I'm very excited to dive into this version of Winnie the Pooh with you. I grew up personally loving Winnie the Pooh, and when I was in middle school, I turned my room into a Winnie the Pooh theme, my bedroom. My parents lovingly painted the top half of my wall blue, what did we have? It was like the top half of my wall yellow and the bottom half of my wall blue all the way around my room. So it was like the sun and the water. And then when I was like in elementary school, middle school, Disney came out with a entire Winnie the Pooh bed set, and it was clouds and sunshines, and it was like, it wasn't so on the nose. So Winnie the Pooh holds a very special place in my heart. So just get cozy today. All you're gonna do is just listen to me read. What are your thoughts on Winnie the Pooh? If you have a thought. We're just gonna kind of gently ease into it with some nice sounds to relax us and bring us here to the present moment. Think of this as a mindful meditation. The Cozy Corner is one giant mindful meditation. The goal is to be present with me in the space, whether that's closing your eyes and just listening, or watching what I do on camera, checking out lovely Lady Lava Lamp, checking out Mr. Clock, checking out my bookcase, whatever it is today. I'm just really happy you're here. Okay, so let's get into it. Winnie the by A.A. Milne. going to read one chapter today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 chapters in total, so we will have 9 videos by the end of this. Chapter 1, in which we are introduced to Winnie the Pooh and some bees, and the stories begin. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, bump, bump on the back of his head, behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs, but sometimes he feels that there really is another way, if only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is at the bottom and ready to be introduced to you, Winnie the Pooh. When I first heard his name, I said, just as you are going to say, but I thought he was a boy. So did I, said Christopher Robin. Then you can't call him Winnie. I don't. But you said, he's Winnie there, Pooh. Don't you know what there means? Ah, yes, now I do, I said quickly. And I hope you do too, because it is all the explanation you are going to get. Sometimes Winnie the Pooh likes a game of some sort when he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of the fire and listen to a story. This evening, what about a story? Said Christopher Robin. What about a story? I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie the Pooh one? I suppose I could, I said. What sort of stories does he like? About himself, because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you very sweetly? I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. One day when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of the tree there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. There he is. First of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. Then he thought for another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And then he got up and he said, and the only reason for making honey is so I can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. Look at him cutely, like, climbing up that tree. It's precious. Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By that time, he had thought of another song. It's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, crack. "Oh, help," said Pooh as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. "If only I hadn't," he said as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. "You see what I meant to do," he explained as he turned head over heels and crashed onto another branch 30 feet below. "What I meant to do. Of course, it was rather," he admitted as he slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches. "It all comes, suppose," he decided, as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun around 3 times, and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. "It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help." He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. So Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. "Good morning, Christopher Robin," he said. "Good morning, Winnie the Pooh," said you. I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you. A balloon? Yes, I just said to myself coming along, I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering. "What do you want a balloon for?" you said. Winnie the Pooh looked around to see that nobody was listening, put his paw to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper, "Honey." "But you don't get honey with balloons." "I do," said Pooh. "Well, it just happened that you had been going to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. You had had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had had a big blue one and had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all. And so you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you." "Which one do you like better?" you asked Pooh. He put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. "It's like this," he said. "When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you are only part of the tree and not notice you. And if you had a blue balloon, they might think you are only part of the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely?" "Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon?" you asked. "They might, or they might not," said Winnie the Pooh. "You can never tell with bees." He thought for a moment and said, "I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them." "Then you had better have the blue balloon," you said, and so it was decided. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon. And you took your gun with you just in case, as you always did. And Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of and rolled until he was all over black. And then when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding onto the string, you let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully up to the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it. "Hooray!" you shouted. "Isn't that fine?" shouted Winnie the Pooh, drawn to you. "What do I look like?" "You look like a bear holding on to a balloon," you said. "Not," said Pooh anxiously, "not like a small black cloud in a blue sky?" "Not very much." Well, perhaps from here it looks different. And as I say, you never can tell with bees. There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree, so there he stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to you. "Christopher Robin," he said in a loud whisper. "Hello?" "What sort of thing?" "I don't know, but something tells me that they're suspicious." "Perhaps they think that you're after their honey." "It may be that. You can never tell with bees." There was another little silence, and then he called down to you. "Christopher Robin." "Yes." "Have you an umbrella in your house?" "I think so." "I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, 'Tut, tut, it looks like rain.' I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees." Well, you laughed to yourself. "Silly old bear." But you didn't say it aloud because you were so fond of him, and you went home for your umbrella. "Oh, there you are," called down Winnie the Pooh as soon as you got back to the tree. "I was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious." "Shall I put up my umbrella?" you said. "Yes, but wait a moment. We must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there?" "No." "Ah, pity. Well, now if you walk up and down with your umbrella saying, 'Tut, tut, it looks like rain,' I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go!" So, while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. "How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. It makes him very proud to be a little cloud." The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them, indeed, left their nests and flew all around the cloud as it began the second verse of the song, and one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment and then got up again. "Christopher, out, Robin," called out the cloud. "Yes?" "I have just been thinking, and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees." "Are they?" Quite the wrong sort, so I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you? Would they? Yes, so I think I shall come down now. How? Asked you. Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall, bump, and he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a very long time. And then he said, "Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun. Have you got your gun?" "Of course I have," you said, "but if I do that, it will spoil the balloon," you said. "But if you don't," said Pooh, "I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me." When you put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. "Ow!" said Pooh. "Did I miss?" you asked. "You didn't exactly miss," said Pooh, "but you missed the balloon." "I'm so sorry," you said, and you fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down to the ground. But his arms were so stiff from holding on to the string of the balloon all the time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week. And whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. And I think, but I'm not sure, that is why he's always called Pooh. Like that. "Is that the end of the story?" asked Christopher Robin. "That's the end of that one. There are others." "About Pooh and me?" "And Piglet and Rabbit and all of you. Don't you remember?" "I do remember, and when I try to remember, I forget." "That day when Pooh and Piglet tried to catch the Huffalump, they didn't catch it, did they?" "No. Pooh couldn't because he hasn't any brain. Did I catch it?" "Well, that comes into the story." Christopher Robin nodded. "I do remember," he said. "Only Pooh doesn't very well, so that's why he likes to have it told to him again, because then it's a real story and not just remembering." "That's just how I feel," I said. Christopher Robin gave a deep sigh, picked up his bear by the leg, and walked off to the door, trailing Pooh behind him. At the door he turned and said, "Coming to see me have my bath?" "I might," I said. "I didn't hurt him when I shot him, did I?" "Not a bit." He nodded and went out, and in the moment I heard Winnie the Pooh bump, 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 going up the stairs behind him. And that's the end of chapter 1. How delightful. That was so delightful. How fun. I need to practice all my voices for you guys now. And just let it out. I do have voices. I am one of those people. I even took voiceover lessons and crafted some. So maybe I work on my Winnie the Pooh impression and try it out. Or maybe I don't. Because I'm still putting out content to the world that I want to feel confident about. That was delightful. I had such a lovely time reading that with you. please, if you made it this far, if you're still awake, if not, don't worry about it. We'll catch you another time. But if you're still awake and you read this, drop me an emoji in the comment section. Winnie the Pooh themed from what we read today. Maybe you drop me an umbrella or some honey or a bear or some clouds. I would love to fill the comment area up with little emojis that kind of represent this chapter. What do you think? I hope you feel more relaxed than when you entered the video. I hope you feel calmer, and I really appreciate you being here with me in my cozy corner. You can be anywhere on YouTube, and it means a lot that you took the time to come visit me and listen to a little bit of a story. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again real soon.